Yo, what is going on YouTube? Welcome back and welcome to Chris Wrestling Views here on YouTube.com. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel and join today because it is 100% free. You don't have to pay anything. Just watch the video and enjoy. So you guys, the opening of Smackdown last night, that was held in, I can't remember what part of Connecticut it was, but shout out to you guys. We had Charlotte Flair ends up coming out and, she was basically talking about that everything is still, is still the same, and even though she had a lot of heat backstage, you guys, last Friday Night Smackdown, Sasha Banks ends up coming out, you guys. Then Shotzi Blackheart says that she feel like that she can beat Charlotte Flair, and it was like a women's contender, contender match or whatever, you guys. Shotzi Blackheart, of course, we seen her with all the kicks and everything, and she always driving that little tank. You guys, what do you think about Shotzi Blackheart trying to step up into the main event spot, against Charlotte Flair? I mean, I feel like it's okay, but at the same time, you guys, we have to see if Shotzi Blackheart has that drive and wanting it like a lot, because you can't say that you want to be SmackDown Women's Champion and you only put in a little effort. But if you put in a lot of effort and you show like that you come out, challenge the champion, but also not just challenge the champion one time, but just keep coming back with it, and probably trying different matches and everything. But then you guys, we end up seeing Shotzi Blackheart where she got hit with the natural selection by Charlotte Flair, you guys. And then, so after then, we seen Charlotte Flair ends up picking up the victory over Shotzi Blackheart. Shotzi Blackheart and Sasha Banks ends up getting into an altercation. Shotzi Blackheart really pretty much throwing around Sasha Banks. So looks like we're going to see a match between those two women there, you guys, Shotzi and Sasha. Maybe next week on Friday Night Smackdown is what I'm seeing as far as that. Then we see Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin and Jeff Hardy, and Jeff Hardy saying that's one title that he haven't won, and so on and so forth. Then we see Adam Pearce, you guys. Adam Pearce was talking about how he is going to sue Brock. Well, he's going to fine Brock Lesnar $1 million. And then we seen Paul Heyman was watching while Adam Pearce was talking, and Paul Heyman had the face of like, you're really going to sue Brock Lesnar $1 million? Please, you really deserve what happened to you last week. The way Paul Heyman is looking. Then Paul Heyman, he ends up saying like the thing where, Brock Lesnar will go down to corporate office and do all this stuff, you guys, and saying that Brock Lesnar, he was the reigning defending champion, and he was all into it, you guys. But Paul Heyman had to catch himself. So, you guys, I'm wondering where this thing is going to lead to, of where Paul Heyman will end up, with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Then, you guys, we end up having Drew McIntyre coming out, trying to figure out who he was going to challenge. And so he was like, step up, to the plate. And so after then, we end up getting a challenge accepted by Mustafa Ali. So Mustafa Ali, he has not been on like a great role. I don't even think he ever won a singles title, you guys. Before Mustafa Ali, it was even worse when Mustafa Ali was the when he was the leader of Retribution, because it didn't really make no sense having Mustafa Ali as the leader of Retribution, which I thought it would it could have been somebody else. But Mustafa Ali ends up getting tossed around the ring by Drew McIntyre. And so, you guys, throughout that match, I feel like that this match right here can't really deserve, a rating. But if I had to give it one, I'll say it'll be like a 2.2 because of how the match went. But, you guys, it definitely surprised me a little bit. at the end where we seen Drew McIntyre ends up doing a Kimura lock, and I never knew that we would, I never knew we would see Drew McIntyre go for a submission. I'm wondering if this is new and he's, using a Claymore as his, his secondary finisher, or how would they do this? Mustafa Ali ends up talking on the mic, you guys, and just saying, how we as WWE fans cheer Drew McIntyre, but I feel like Mustafa is going to be repackaged soon. Then we end up seeing King Woods and Kofi Kingston backstage. Excuse me, Hit Row is in the back. They end up making a song for King Woods, saying Hit Row, and then they kept saying it, smoothly, you guys. And so that was pretty great that Hit Row looks up to Xavier Woods in that way. Then we had the King ceremony. We're seeing that Xavier. We end up seeing King Woods ends up coming out with his microphone, and then we end up seeing the New Day. You guys, where the New Day, and the Usos. They were just basically doing their thing, because we seen those two tag teams compete like months and months and months for those SmackDown tag titles. And you guys, also when they were on Raw, they kind of basically did the same thing. Then you guys, we end up seeing right here where I think King Wood spit on Jay Uso, you guys, and he had to wipe it away from his face. I was like, wow. And then that's when we seen right here, you guys, where Jay Uso, he was holding the scepter. He was holding the scepter, you guys, and then Jimmy ended up slapping Kofi, because Kofi slapped his hand away. Then you guys, we end up seeing right here, they had a trick or street fight, you guys, with Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin versus Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura. So you guys, throughout the match right there, you guys, I definitely thought, it was cool, but it hasn't been like one of those little trigger street fights like they used to have, like maybe like 3 years ago when they used to have it on SmackDown. This one was definitely terrible, I have to say the least. Then we see Madcap Moss ends up putting the pumpkin on top of Shinsuke Nakamura's head, and then we end up seeing two masked guys that were under pumpkin mask and suit, and then they end up being Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. So what I'm looking at right now, you guys, is we're probably gonna have what's his name? We're gonna have Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura versus Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza, probably next week or the week after on Friday Night SmackDown. Then you guys, we end up seeing Naomi. It was Naomi versus Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler, you guys, I feel like Shayna Baszler should have been the queen of the ring. The way she was, running through that thing, running through that little tournament, you guys. But they ended up having her stopped in the tracks by Doudrop. Then you guys, Sonya Deville ends up coming out and saying that she was going to want to be the special enforcer. Well, not really special enforcer, excuse me, the referee of that match. But you guys, of course, you already know what happened. Shayna Baszler ends up winning the match because Sonya Deville ends up cheating by doing a fast count, you guys. Of course, the typical thing we always see in WWE when there's a person that has hatred for another, just like that one time when Vince McMahon fast counted on Stone Cold and had, I think it was Undertaker win. That was maybe like what, a decade? No, I think it was like two and a half decades ago. And so you guys, I'm wondering what's next between Sonya Deville and Naomi. And so you guys, I'm definitely ready to see. We already know, if you didn't know, you guys, Sonya Deville and what's her name, Shayna Baszler, are former MMA fighters. So you guys, if you didn't know, now you know, in the words of Hit Row. So you guys, they end up, having to face off against each other. So hopefully we may see a match between these two at Survivor Series. And I feel like this thing going to continue on. Maybe a lot of people saying that could she join the Bloodline and, and do something like that. Then you guys, we end up seeing right here where we're going to have the main event, you guys, where we're going to have Kofi Kingston and King Woods versus the Usos in a non-title match. Usos, I like the little 3D effect that they have on the TV. Usos, you guys, ends up coming out, showing off their belts, showing that they are the ones. They are the Bloodline. They are the Smackdown Tag Team Champions. Kofi Kingston did something really different, you guys, where he jumps up, has his foot all the way in the air, and like stumps it onto your chest. And you guys, I found that was pretty interesting. I know I don't got good graphics on here, you guys, but you guys, like I said, I'm ready to see these two tag teams tear down as they used to do. Of course, we had like Big E as well, like, through that, in that little fray right there. So we may just see Big E versus Roman Reigns at Survivor Series, and then we may see King Woods and Kofi Kingston at Survivor Series as well. So tag team champions of the New Day and Bloodline, and then seeing Roman and Big E fighting at Survivor Series. So then we seen a super kick, you guys, by Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso ends up going for the cover, but then again, it was kind of like a swap up thing because Kofi Kingston wasn't the legal man, but it was at Xavier Woods instead. And then, as we seen the confused face by the Usos, they end up losing the match. So, like I said, you guys, it's gonna be those two at Survivor Series, Jimmy and Jay Uso versus the New Day for SmackDown Tag Team titles. I'm ready for it. I love how they tear down the show and make the tag team division look relevant. Thank you guys so much for watching Chris Wrestling Views here on YouTube.com. And I'll see you guys in my next video.